Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking on a massive chunk of paperwork. It's a full turnkey construction quotation.
Right. For a G+2 residential building, that's ground plus 2 floors, spanning about 3,000 square feet in Bhubaneswar.
And our mission here is really to cut through the noise. We want to quickly pull out the main cost drivers and figure out what level of quality this contract actually guarantees for you.
Exactly. This is your shortcut to understanding a pretty significant financial commitment.
So, right out of the gate, something really jumps out. It's labeled as a turnkey core and finish contract.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is what the contractor explicitly says you don't pay extra for.
Okay.
They absorb the cost of all the site machinery, the lifts, the bamboo scaffolding, even the running water and electricity bills during construction.
But hold on. Isn't that cost just, baked into the square foot rate anyway? Is this really a favor or just a more transparent way of showing the total overhead?
It's transparency, really. But it's good transparency. It guarantees you won't see those costs creep in later. It
Yep.
sets a clear boundary.
I see.
But if you want to find the real financial complexity, the biggest swing, we have to look at the foundation.
The substructure. Okay, so we're talking about 1,000 square foot foundation area, and this quote really shows the difference between good soil and bad soil.
It's a ₹1,000,000 difference
Yeah.
on day one.
Wow.
Precisely. If your land is solid, you can go with a basic footing type foundation.
Mm.
It still uses top tier stuff, Tata rod, Ultratech cement.
And that comes in at,
About 575 rupees per square foot, so a total of 575,000. That's your best case scenario.
but if the soil is weak, that number just explodes.
It nearly triples.
Yeah.
You'd need a robust pile-type foundation. We're talking a big RCC pile cape on deep piles. That jumps to 1,550 per square foot.
Which brings a total to 1,550,000 rupees.
That's it. That gap, almost ₹1,000,000,
Yeah.
it just shows how much leverage the site conditions have on your entire budget. It's the most critical decision point.
All right, so let's move up the building to the superstructure. I'm noticing a pattern here where the cost per square foot actually goes up the higher you build.
It does, yeah.
The stilt floor is $950, ground floor is $1050, and the second floor is the most expensive at $1250 per square foot. Why is that?
That's not arbitrary. It's
Yeah.
just logistics. It's physically harder and therefore more expensive to pump materials and get labor up to the third level than it is for the first.
That makes sense.
Structurally, though, it's consistent. 10 by 10 inch columns and beams, and they specify fly ash brick walls, which is good for stability and insulation.
Okay, let's get to the part of the quality you can actually see and touch, the finishing.
Yeah.
What do these brand names really guarantee for the listener?
Well, take the doors. The main doors are valued at 45,000 rupees each.
It's a lot for a door.
It is, but you're getting salwood or WPC frames with a real teak panel door. The WPC, the wood plastic composite, is great against moisture and pests.
And the utilities. I see hovels listed for electricals.
Right, at 210 per square foot. And specifying havels for the MCBs, the circuit breakers, is really important. It guarantees a standard of safety. No cheap replacement.
Yeah, and plumbing is similar, I assume.
Yep, Ashirvad pipes, which are excellent, feeding quality fixtures from Sarah or Perryware.
Now, for tiling, they call out the Kajaria brand at 225 rupees per square foot. What does that price point tell you?
That tells me it's a solid mid-range quality marker. You're definitely avoiding the cheap contractor grade stuff, but you still have flexibility if you want to upgrade later.
So to wrap this up, what's the big takeaway from this deep dive?
Well, this quote gives you a really well-specified brand-heavy structure. Tata, Ultratech, Havels, Kajaria, and the contractor absorbs all those nagging incidental costs.
It seems very transparent.
It is. But there's one last thing. The quote explicitly separates the house from the mandatory site infrastructure. The owner still has to pay for the deep bore well and the septic tank.
And what does that add up to?
That's a minimum of 256,000 rupees right there.
And that brings up a really important final question for you to think about. In a fixed rate turnkey contract, how much do we often underestimate the fundamental cost of just preparing the land itself versus the glamorous house that sits on top of it? Something to consider.